Hey guys, this is Phil with Sylvan Arms. Here we're going to talk about the installation and the basics of the SA5 folder. So first thing we'll talk about is what is a left SA5 folder and what is a right SA5 folder. The left will make your stock fold to the left. The right will make your stock fold to the right. Today we're going to go over the installation of the SA5 left folder. First thing we do with our weapon, check to see that it's clear. Then we're going to remove the upper receiver. Take out both the pivot and the takedown pin, and we'll put that aside for later. Now you're going to grab an armorer's wrench. We're going to start to loosen the castle nut on the back end. Once that's cracked loose, we can press down on the buffer retaining pin, and that'll release the buffer and spring. Now we can back off that castle nut by hand. Careful to hold the back plate in place. Once that's backed off all the way, slowly release the back plate and depress the plunger with your finger, and we'll start to rotate the buffer tube off of the weapon. Once that's clear, we're going to pull the takedown pin spring out, set that aside, we'll need that later, and we'll take out the buffer spring and pin, and we're going to put that aside. We will not need that later. One of the questions we get a lot is how to open the folder out of the package. The first thing we do is when we package these is to check them all to see if they can open by hand. What I'll do is I'll put my thumbs on both sides of the inside, brace it against my body, depress the button, and then you can then open it. If this is still too hard, we have some tricks we can try later. So we'll do it closed for now. We'll start threading in the SA5 folder partially. If you're still having trouble opening it, we can partially thread our buffer tube in the back end to give us some leverage. Depress the button and open it. We can then remove both components, and now the SA5 is open. So now with it inserted into the lower, we want to thread it as far as we can go, and we're going to actually have to back this one off because we didn't quite get that last full rotation. Then we're going to check out the kit that comes with it. We get 2 Allen keys, a larger and a smaller, and 2 set screws, a larger and a smaller. We can grab the larger of the Allen key, place it in the center hole, and we're going to start tightening this plunger that's going to locate this component in the lower receiver. It's very important that this is not tightened. Just barely snug is enough. Really all you want is to be able to prevent rotation from the SA5 folder to the lower receiver. Once that's done, we're going to grab the little small castle nut that comes with the kit, and we're going to tighten the castle nut up against the lower. Good and snug is enough here. We're then going to take the larger of the set screws and the larger of the Allen keys and chase that plunger hole, which we just tightened a few steps back. Again, this doesn't have to be tightened super hard, just snug. That'll prevent the plunger from backing out. Now we're going to grab the takedown pin spring that we took out, and you're going to see a hole down through the SA5 folder. We can push that spring all the way back through into the lower, and we grab the smaller Allen key and the smaller set screw and go ahead and chase that until it's snug. Now we're going to close the folder and install our buffer tube. Place it in the rear just like you normally would. Start tightening it. We're going to go as far as we can, and then back when we can't go any further until it's aligned. I'm going to tighten down the back plate and the castle nut. And give that a crank with the armorer's wrench. Now you can reopen the folder, place your buffer tube and spring down through the opening, and that'll retain itself. We'll close it. Now we'll grab the upper receiver, place it back on the firearm, open the rear of the folder and place our BCG extension down into the BCG. And close it. And now check function. And you're ready to rock. Now we're going to talk about the disassembly of the SA5 folder. Maybe you want to put it on a different firearm, and you want to know how to do that. It's basically the assembly process, but in reverse. So first thing we're going to do is open the folder and remove the BCG extension from the BCG. We can then close the folder, remove both the takedown and pivot pins to remove the upper. We put that aside. We're now going to crack loose the castle nut. And back that all the way off. We can then start to thread out our buffer tube and put that aside. Careful, spring and the buffer are going to come flying out as well. We then can open our folder by depressing the button and using our thumb to pull it open. And we're going to have it open the rest of the time. With the kit that comes with it, you want to grab the small Allen key, and you're going to want to back out that set screw that's holding the takedown pin spring in all the way. Now that's out, we want to get the spring out of the lower. So we can just tip the lower upside down, and the spring will come out. We'll take that and we'll put that to the side. We'll need it later. Now you want to break the castle nut loose here with the provided wrench. And you can back that off by hand. The last step is to get rid of the locating plunger and to back that out of the way. Use the larger of the Allen keys, go down through that center hole, and we'll remove the set screw first, put that aside, and then we'll back out the plunger itself. That'll allow the SA5 folder to rotate and be removed from the lower. And now you're ready to put it on your next project. If you're unsure what folder you have, or you're not sure what you purchased, there's a couple ways to check. First off, we'll be checking the box. The box itself has an L or an R to indicate a left or right folder. Secondly, once you have the folder out of the package, you can look at the threaded portion here and see that the hinge is on the left side. That refers to a left folder and will make your stock fold to the left. Conversely, the threaded portion of the right folder, the hinge is on the right side, which will make the stock fold to the right. The install process for both of these is identical. It's just mirrored one from the other. So this middle hole here that's threaded, that's your plunger hole and your larger set screw hole. The smaller threaded hole, which is down in here, is for your smaller set screw, and it retains the spring in the for the lower takedown pin. And this hole is just a weight savings hole. So that'll look different on the two different variants. This is the right SA5. This larger center hole that's threaded is for your plunger and your larger set screw. This smaller hole on the right is for the spring and has for the smaller takedown pin screw, smaller set screw, and that will hold the spring into the lower. And there is no weight savings hole on this model. Now you know how to both install and uninstall your SA5 folder. If you have any questions, you can reach out to us at service@sylvanarms.com. My name's Phil. I'm here with Sylvan Arms. Thanks.